In today's video, we're going to start weaving a coffee table tray basket. This is going to be woven with a closed base technique, and then we're going to create short walls, finishing off with a lashed rim to create a solid edge for our tray. This is a great decorative basket that you can use on your coffee table to catch your remotes or to create a little vignette adding old books and candles and other things that you would like to create a little display on your coffee table within. It also works great as a breakfast in bed coffee tray if you're into luxury like that. So let's get started weaving this basket. The tools you'll need for this basket are basic basketry tools. I use them in most of my basket weaving, and the materials list is in the instruction manual. You can purchase that using the link in the description below. It also has the pattern, so if you're going to follow along, I would highly suggest getting that so that you can reference the cut list, prepare your stakes, and get ready to go. Once you have all of those prepared and ready to go, you're ready to start weaving the base. The stakes that you cut for this base include 2 different widths and 2 different lengths. So we have 4 versions of the stakes that we're dealing with, different between the widths and the lengths. So separate these into groups based on the length of the stake. So I have my shorter length. I'm going to use those right away. So I'm going to set aside my longer length. I'm going to put these in the water bin to get them out of my way. And now I'm going to get my shorter lengths wet so that they're ready to use. So for this set of stakes, this is our shorter set of stakes, we have 2 different widths. So separate these out so you have your 2 widths in 2 separate piles. So of your wide stakes and your narrow stakes. They're the same length, but just different widths. Now I'm going to lay these out perpendicular to me along my towel like this, so that it's easier to weave the next set of stakes in. I'm going to move this up so you can see better. And I'm laying these out, this narrow stake first, and then I'm going to put another narrow stake next to it, putting about a finger's width in between. You come in and use your spoke weight to hold that in place. So I have 2 narrow stakes. Now I'm going to grab one of the wider stakes, again laying with the center mark facing up, and about a finger distance between these stakes. Then I'll put a narrow stake. We're going to alternate narrow stake, wide stake, narrow stake, lining up these center marks so that they're lined up down the middle here. Wide stake, narrow stake, wide stake, narrow stake, another wide stake. If you move your spoke weight, make sure to kind of lay on top of your stakes so that they don't pop all over and fall out of place. End here, going narrow, wide, and then put the last 2 narrows at the other end. So we're mimicking, we have alternating, but the last 2 are narrow. And my spoke weight is not quite long enough to go all the way along, so I'm going to use my scissors to hold that in place. Now go ahead and pull out your second set of stakes. We're going to tap off the excess water and again separate out the wide and the narrow. And we're going to weave these in a closed base style. So we'll be alternating wide and narrow, filling in the space. So grab one of your wide stakes first, and we're going to do an over first. So at the one end of our row, we're going to go over the first stake and then under, over, under, over, under, over. Now find your center stake, this guy right here, line up the center mark on that wide stake under that guy, and then try to get these center marks to line up with the center of the stake we just wove, like so. This stake is going all kinds of wiggly, so I'm going to allow that to stretch out as I weave the rest of this base. So now grab a narrow stake, making sure you go under this first stake, over, under, all the way down. We're going to weave this, matching up the center mark with this center stake again. We need to come in and pack this as close as we can to that first stake, ideally eliminating any space. If you need to spread out your stakes a little bit so that there's more room to work with so you can get these closer, you can do that. And I'm going to take a quick measurement just to make sure I'm on the right track. We want about 20 inches from end to end here. And we will true this up later, but it's easier to fix this here than it is if we go longer and get more of the stakes in place. So I'm going to extend out from the middle, line up the 10-inch on this middle stake, and I want this to be about 20 inches. So I'm going to eke this out to 20 inches on this end, and then space these out evenly from there. And then from the middle point, I'm going to go to 20 inches and I have quite a bit of space over here. So I'm going to push that over and then space these out more evenly, like so. That'll just make it easier when we do get to truing to ensure that we're doing the right size without having to move a lot of the stakes. Okay, once you have a few stakes in place, you can move some of your tools out of your way. Maybe leave the spoke weight for a little bit longer. Now we have our center stake. We've got a narrow. We're going to go back to a wide, continuing to work towards the left, working over, under, all the way down. Lining up the center mark with that center stake and then pulling this in nice and snug. Now grab a narrow piece, start under, now a wide piece, then we're going to do a narrow, and then one last wide for this side, and then we're going to finish off with 2 narrow pieces. And our first narrow, and the last narrow on this side. Okay, so that is one side of the base woven. I'm going to flip this around to this angle and weave on the other side of this section. And now this middle piece is a wide, so we're going to weave in a narrow next, making sure we start on an under and then pull this towards the middle and then go to a wide, start on an over, and then a narrow, and then a wide, and then a narrow, and then our last wide, and we'll finish off with our last 2 narrow pieces. And that is the base structure woven in place. You're going to true this, come in and make sure all of your stakes are going straight across the base of the basket, that it's visually pleasing and you like how it's laid out. And this is the base constructed with all of our pieces. You'll note that the 2 on each end are the narrow pieces, the same in the closed section going in the other direction. So it's enclosed by 2 narrow pieces, and then it alternates wide, narrow through the center. This is noted in the instruction manual, so if you want a closer visual, you can reference the photos in the manual. Next up, you're going to true this base, so go ahead and make sure that all of your stakes are going straight across, that everything visually looks pleasing and looks the way you want it to look. Once it's trued and you're happy with it, you can move on to chicken feet. For more basket weaving and fiber arts inspiration and information, sign up for our email update list. You can sign up here or in the link in the description below. We send out a once-a-week email with lots of goodies, including information in the world of basketry and fiber arts, as well as coupon codes to our shop and updates on new patterns and other things that we're dropping in the shop. Once your base is trued, you're ready to do the chicken feet. So turn it so that you have the shorter edge with all of the packed stakes towards you. And this is where we're going to be implementing the chicken feet. So on all of these stakes that are going under this perpendicular stake, we're gonna come in and fold these. But because this is a tray basket and the walls are so short, we want the folded edge to be as little cracked as possible so that it doesn't show. So grab a spray bottle and come in and spray along that edge on the top and on the bottom to ensure that it's nice and pliable. And then come in and you'll gently start to fold all of the ones that are coming underneath up along that edge. And you're folding, trying to avoid cracking. It's pretty inevitable that some cracking will happen, but you can work slowly and avoid major cracking. And you want it to be evenly folded all the way along so you have a nice straight line. Once all of these are folded, we're going to cut them to length. Now in the pattern, I have these at 30 inches because that's the same length as the other stakes in this direction, and it makes it easier to keep track of what you're working with if they're the same length. It does mean that we end up cutting off a little bit more scrap to get them to tuck, but then we have plenty of length and it's one less measurement to have to account for. So when you come in, you're going to fold these over and measure 2 stakes over to the far edge of that second stake. Cut that along this edge right here. And then you can set aside your scraps. And I'm going to do this all the way across, measuring to that second stake in the perpendicular direction. Once those are all trimmed, you can come in and each of these little lengths that we trimmed, we're going to cut in half right down the middle lengthwise. Once those are all split, grab your packing tool and come in, and these are going to open up and tuck under that second stake on either side of itself. So we're taking it, V'ing it out into the shape of a V or a little chicken foot, and then tucking these ends under this second stake so that they are secure. And do this gently because it will pull on that edge that we folded and can cause more breakage if you're not gentle. You're going to do this all the way across so that you have 2 legs under each space here. And then we'll finish off with this last chicken foot here on the edge. So there should be 2, and then these guys hang out by themselves on the end. Now you'll flip your base around and do the same thing for the other end. When your base is set up like this and you have chicken feet down both sides, you've finished off all of those filler edges, you're ready to either move on to the walls or you can optionally add twining around the perimeter. The twining does act as a little bit of a buffer, so if you had edges on your chicken feet that broke aggressively and you don't like how that edge looks, then you can somewhat cover it up with the round reed doing twining. This is what your base will look like if you do chicken feet with the twining. It just adds a little bit extra finished edge. You absolutely don't have to do that. If you do want to add twining, check out this video where I go over how to twine the base of a basket. It'll cover how to twine an open base, but it's the same concept. You'll just be pressing this in up against those chicken feet edges. Next up, we're going to upset the stakes. So come in and start to fold these right along that perimeter edge. If you start to get any cracking or your reed has dried out as you've been working, you'll want to spray around your perimeter to make sure your stakes are nice and wet. Upset those, and then we're going to set this aside for next week's video where I'll go over how to weave the walls and set up the rim. So check back next week for the next video. Until then, watch this video for more basket weaving inspiration and information, and thanks so much for being here. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.